highest in demand communities in Dubai, and one of the most shocking also because White and Co. They posted it the other day. It was 209 million. So this is their first ever development in Dubai and not the last.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. This is episode number 3. Today, we're going to be doing a market breakdown similar to what we did in Dubai Hills about Tilal Al Ghaf. So, Omar, if you can just give us a brief about Tilal Al Ghaf.
I feel like people will be like, how do you know all this information? Or they're like, it's just Google, man. It's just like, search up a lot of these stuff. And anyway, we're shooting back to back with like after Dubai Hills. But anyway,
No, it's the same day. We just didn't change our clothes. We slept with the same
we're
thing.
discussing people. Anyway, so Tilal Al Ghaf, of one of the highest in demand communities in Dubai, and one of the most shocking also because it's by Majid Al Futtaim, and Majid Al Futtaim are not known as a developer. They're just known as a retail commercial type of company where it's like they're like official distributors for a lot of companies. One of the biggest like Carrefour. Actually, that's Abdullah Al Futtaim. But they're so into the entertainment business, the Vox Cinema, the malls, Mall of Emirates, and the city center branches. That's all over UAE. So they're very, very good in this entertainment industry. They've done development in Sharjah, which was their first ever in all of UAE, and they've done one in Oman.
Oman?
Yes. But the first one ever in UAE and all of UAE was in Sharjah, called Zahia, which was a nice community, by the way. Which is a nice community. So this is their first ever development in Dubai and not the last. Because they are, I can't say, but they have several stuff coming later.
Secret intel.
But people talk here and there. Now, Tilal Al Ghaf. Tilal Al Ghaf is a villa townhouse community only. No, there is commercials, obviously the retail spaces from to facilitate the community, but there is no office spaces, there is no apartment, residential buildings. So it's purely villa townhouse community. Starts with Elan townhouses and Harmony independent villas. Those were the first two known
communities in
clusters,
the area.
Communities. Now I'll speak about the facilities and the what's special about the facilities later. But I will start speaking about the communities quickly, run through them. So Elan townhouses, 3-4 bedrooms, same sizes as Maple, 2,150 square foot for the 3 beds built up, and 2,450 square feet for the 4 beds. Just below 1,000, or I think as far as I remember 916 townhouses, if I'm not mistaken, but it's below 1,000. The inventory is not as high as in Maple. And by the way, when I speak about Tilal Al Ghaf, you will realize there are similar ideas from Tilal Al Ghaf to Dubai Hills. So I feel like
Would you consider them comparable communities? One having the golf course, the other one having the lagoon. Is it something that you can compare, or is it just market-wise, price-wise, they make sense?
No, I wouldn't compare. Now, what I mean similarities as in the clusters. Now, I will mention that like Alaya compared to Golf Place, kinda. Plaguette 32 and Amara twin villas compared to Club Villas and Golf Grove, kinda. Something similar. It's the similar idea. And Majid Al Futtaim are like, you know what, if this works, let's do it, and in a much luxurious way, kinda. So they have won in that part. And there is a lot of transactions that happen in Tilal Al Ghaf for that area. The same latitude didn't ever happen anywhere else in Dubai, because this was the first master community in an area that's a bit far off. It's from
Where is the area?
So it's on Hessa Street, just after Motor City. Studio City, and so Studio City is here, Sport City, and there is just across Sport City on the right lane of Hessa Street when you're going all the way to Emirates Road is Tilal Al Ghaf. So just kind of across the Mac Hills and Studio City. It's I wouldn't say it's far, but it's kind of far to be selling those expensive villas. So by the way, there are matches that sold up too. I heard from White and Co. They posted it the other day. It was 209 million dirhams. A mansion sold over there. Now, if you look at that line from Tilal Al Ghaf all the way to, let's say, Villanova, in that line, nothing sold for 200 million plus, or even let alone 100 million plus in that latitude. So even Barari, if you were compared to same latitude, Barari didn't even have property selling above 100 million. I mean, the max they reached to 75 million, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Never crossed 100. This is the first community in that latitude to be crossing, let alone 100 to 100 million. So it shows there is big potentials for this community. Now, obviously, what's handed over is just Elan and Harmony one, some of Harmony one, yeah. But let me talk more about Tilal Al Ghaf. I mean, what the properties are. So Elan is townhouses, like I said. Harmony are independent villas, 4, 5, 6 bedroom. And what's special about Harmony is that they had garden suites. So garden suite is like an Arabic traditional thing where it's like, especially Khalijis, they have a villa and then they have a smaller, they call it an Arabic mulhaq. Mulhaq is like a garden suite, basically. It's like an extra suite, a small tiny house, you could say, for the driver, for the maid, stuff like that.
Aside from the driver or the maid's room, just like a separate room.
No. They have that for the driver's room or the maid's room.
Okay.
So they have said, you know what? Let's implement that because there is no other freehold property or development that had this idea. Because it's only for the locals, for the GCC people that have this tradition. So they said, you know what? Let's give it to the expats, kind of expats, or like the people who would be living here later in the future. They might like that idea, but I give to them options. And that's what was special about Harmony. Harmony was the first ever development that gave options to people, by the way. So as do you want an open kitchen or a closed kitchen? What interior colors would you prefer? This color or this color? So they had a lot of options. So after Harmony 1, 2, and 3, there was Aura Gardens, which are semi-detached villas. In Aura Gardens, there was also townhouses, similar to Elan.
Same configuration?
Yes, same configuration of the townhouses. They just saw demand for it. They said, you know what, let's have a mixture of townhouses in Aura Gardens, but with more prices because they asked more prices than Elan. Aura Gardens, semi-detached villas, very well sized, G+2. I mean, they had a roof terrace. So Aura Gardens over here. And then there is Alaya Gardens, which is in total around 420 villas. Now, Alaya is almost similar to Golf Place, or literally similar to Golf Place. It's like the bigger villas than Harmony, bit luxurious than Harmony, more options, I feel like, than Harmony, from the interior colors. And
exterior colors as well, right?
Yes. So there were types even for it. I don't want to go into details. Everything is online.
Yeah.
And obviously the price point is a bit more. However, Alaya is a bit weird to me because I feel like it should have stayed lower inventory, the 250 villas rather than around 420 villas in all of Alaya and Alaya Gardens. Now, obviously it was split. Also, there was 2 lines, Alaya Beach, that are front row on the lagoon. Then there is Elysian Mansions. Elysian Mansions, obviously, from the word, I mean, it's bigger in size and limited. Also, like, I forgot how many exactly, but less than 100. Way less, also around 90, I would say. And Elysian Mansions were split into 3. Hillside, Lagoonside, Parkside. So, and Parkside was the cheapest one, starting at 18 million. And then there is Hillside, which is the second line. However, on an elevated plot, kind of.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Hillside. And then there is the Lagoonside, which is the front row of the lagoon. Went up to 38 million.
I assume Lagoonside is also the most highest transacting in terms of price because everybody loves the lagoon.
I mean, it depends. I mean, obviously, yeah, but do you have the money for it? That's one. 2, is there inventory for resale in the market? Not so much for Elysian. Then comes now Alaya Gardens, and Alaya took that side of the plot. There's Serenity. Serenity also is mansions, like 160 mansions. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, when I mention all these stuff, you see how many mansions I'm talking about. So the Elysian Mansions and Alaya is, I wouldn't say it's mansion, but it's a bigger villa. But you're talking about around 420 villas that are that big and that expensive, because the prices right now in the market is around 10.5 million plus, up to almost 20. So and that's 420 units over there.
Yeah.
Then there's Elysian Mansion, which is around I think 70 to 90. I forgot exactly how many mansions. And then there's Serenity, which is also around 150, 160 mansions. Like I said, sorry, 160 mansions. So there's a lot of inventory that is high priced. So will this be an ultra high net worth individual community? That's what I would say, because the transactions that I went through recently were to ultra high net worth individuals. Like I mentioned, Lanai Island was like starting at 65 million, and there were a couple of more than a couple of transactions. Like I would say even like 6-7 transactions that went at 90 million for those mansions. And there was like 2 that crossed 100 million and 1 that was 209 million. So there's a lot of high net worth individuals in this area. I mean, eventually, because it's still not handed over. Now, yeah, I mean, that's the summarized, obviously, Lanai Island, these 2 islands. And these weren't, by the way, at the start of the master plan. So, in the start of the master plan, the first design of the master plan was all of this was Crystal Lagoon. There were no islands on it. Then later on, when they saw that, we are gathering a lot of high net worth individuals coming up, let's do big mansions and exclusive mansions and price it at 65 million plus. And they've succeeded at that. So they've taken, some area from the Crystal Lagoon. However, I feel like they've increased the value of Tilal Al Ghaf as making it a super premium community. Because without Lanai Island, it's still a premium community, but won't be super premium community.
There's nothing above 100 plus besides Lanai, from my knowledge.
Yes,
so
I mean maybe later in the future,
maybe some of the mansions.
Serenities, because the front row of Serenity is called designed Kai. It's called Kai Mansions. And those went from 52 million. Maybe later in the future it goes double in price. You never know, and crosses the 100 million mark. But other than that, sold from the developer were just Lanai Islands that crossed 100 million. Now later in the future, how much will these people resell it? Can you see a 300 million mansion over here resell? I don't know, to be honest. But it's such a premium community, and there's a lot of promises. I would say like right now the community 20% is handed over out of this full community. I would say the community, the last handover will be in 2027. As planned. Now let's say 2028, because construction sometimes might be delayed. I didn't speak about Plaget 32 and Amara, twin villas, which are the same idea as club villas in Dubai Hills. Low inventory, like Plaget 32, from the name of it is 32 semi-detached villas. 4 of them were villas, the rest were twin villas. Resort living. The facility was given to Sunset Hospitality to provide to them like a resort living lifestyle, basically. So very limited. I would expect prices to shoot up in there. Amara, same thing, around 116 semi-detached villas, very low inventory. Sizes are quite nice, 4,900 to 5,000 built up. So yeah, I mean that's all of the community. And
what do you think is bringing all the ultra high net worth people to Tilal Al Ghaf? And
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the design of the master plan, the Crystal Lagoon, the designs of it. Because if you look at the renders, the brochures, it's super luxurious. The properties. Hopefully, they hand over as far as the renders are. But Majid Al Futtaim don't play around with these stuff. I mean, they really care about quality. Now I didn't speak about the facilities area, which is in this side, which is the major one is RGS, Royal Grammar School, one of the oldest schools in the world. It's a UK school, 500-year-old school, super expensive by the way. And owners or tenants, I think, also get a discount of 30% for their children, or for the kids, or for their teens, for their kids basically. And obviously Majid Al Futtaim's facilities, which is Carrefour and stuff like that, they said they will have the biggest standalone Carrefour in here. There is District, which has, barber shops, all the facility, the amenities you'd need, the pharmacies and all these communals that you'll need. So yeah, that's as far as Tilal Al Ghaf. Tilal Al Ghaf, everything doubled up, most of it doubled up in price. Later on, the last phases didn't double up in price yet, because they just launched, sold. So demand for it comes later, like 1 year after they sell out and construction starts, then demand picks up in there, and that's when prices increase. But as far as Harmony, more than double in price. Elan, double in price, more than double actually. Alaya is starting to pick up a bit. It's a bit slow, Alaya.
What about Alaya Beach? How's that going?
Alaya Beach is it's still there is not a lot of inventory for sale also in the market, not a lot because investors or owners of these properties realize, oh, I have such a special Alaya because out of the 420 villas, like I said, it's a lot of inventory. Alaya Beach is very limited. It's only 2 rows of villas, which is I think it could be around 30 villas. So it's very limited compared. It's just 10% almost, let's say 10 or less than 10% out of all of Alaya. So I have something special, Alaya Beach. So I'll ask for a super high price. Or I'll not sell, or maybe when it gets handed over I'll get a super high rental. So yeah, that's the brief of. And by the way, all of what I've spoken about is 3 million square meters. So if you're compared to Dubai Hills, for example, that's 11 and this is 3 million, so it's like 3 times less in size. So it's very low inventory, very limited. That's why maybe that could answer your question of why is it so premium. Because it's very small. It's like well taken care of. It's like a small baby, and I made it super chic and expensive and premium.
You put a baby in Dior, basically.
Yes, you put a baby in Dior. So basically, it's like exactly. You know what? That's perfect. Yeah, put a baby in Dior. So I mean that's all about. Obviously, the facility, the amenities like any other community, the parks, basketball court, outdoor cinema, all these stuff. So I mean that's Tilal Al Ghaf. I'm looking forward to see all of this handover. I want to see how this community turns out to be. Is it as promising as how they... Because people were fighting in sales center to get a unit here and back in Elan. I remember I've seen videos. People were fighting to get a 1.3 million starting price property. It's like I feel like they were fighting over a free property. But in fact... But anyway, that's Tilal Al Ghaf.
I mean... I think the major factor about this would be the location. Is there anything building around it or maybe populating near it? Because right now it's kind of...
I mean, the Mac Lagoons across it is picking up. I mean, I would say Jumeirah Golf even started to pick up, by the way, after Tilal Al Ghaf. It was like people started looking to that area. It's like, oh, Jumeirah Golf. Because, by the way, Jumeirah Golf, long time ago, it wasn't known. And it's starting to pick up ever since 2 years. Started to pick up, like people are starting to look at Jumeirah Golf. Oh, what's this handed over community I never heard about? It's a golf course community, which is Jumeirah Golf, which obviously we'll be speaking about in a later episode. But that's as far as this episode. I mean, Tilal Al Ghaf. Hopefully I've summarized that quick and not boring. I didn't speak a lot of prices, but prices you can see online anyway.
Yeah, anyways, so you said most properties here doubled up in price, but what's it like moving in here? What's it like
so far the people moving that moved in are Elan and some in Harmony. People are loving it. Some people have faced some issues with the quality. However, the quality, I mean, I see it better than most communities or all of communities, at least from a developer perspective. But I mean, the quality from Majlis Team is much better than other communities. Obviously, because if you were speaking about Elan Harmony, it's the middle class kind of property. It's not the ultra luxurious. So what we're looking forward to is the ultra luxurious. How will it hand over?
The Lanai Islands.
Will it be super amazing, or will people need to upgrade later in the future? Let's see.
Upgrading a 200 million property.
You never know. People are always greedy, you know.
It's a crazy thought, but I think that's it for Tilal Al Ghaf. Do you have anything else that we
we summed up Tilal Al Ghaf, how amazing Tilal Al Ghaf is, and let's see how it turns out to be.
Yeah, it's still early new stages, so not really much to speak on. Just waiting for time. But thank you for tuning in as always, and we'll see you next episode.